I'm at job number 20926. It's called Cambria Hills. It's out here in Bothell for Compass Management. They want me to look at seal coat, striping, and adding a little asphalt up by a little trash bin area. So I'm going to show you the map of this place. It's up on a hillside. So I'm not sure how well you can see this map, but there's two entrances, one right here that I'm at the bottom of the hill, and there's one up the road that comes in. What you see here, and I'm going to have this saved to Google Drive, is I've got all the fire lane marked where it's supposed to be, except for that little funky little line there. I must have accidentally scribbled that when my pen crossed it, plus the one in the bushes there. That'll be gone when you look at it in Google Drive, but all these areas marked in red are the areas of fire lane striping. Okay, so it'll be a pretty easy measurement on this, but they want it seal coated, and it goes all uphill, and it goes in between these carport areas. It goes up the hill. You got parking on the side. There's a bunch. And what I'll end up doing is I'll do a separate aerial drive that shows the boundaries for the square footage on this, because unless you've driven it, it's kind of hard to see in all these little areas what all is seal coat and what's not. Okay, so I'll have that also saved to Google Drive, and I'll just save it as seal coat map, and we can use it for that purpose. Okay. So going up the hill, as far as striping goes, there's 385 parking stalls. There's a ton of red curb. Every stall, or actually not every stall, but just about every stall has a stall number. I take that back. I think all of the stalls have stall numbers in it. Hey. So as you go up the hill here, very steep, I'd probably say this thing's going to have to be done in multiple phases, because you've got all these little turnouts that have carports in them, or parking garages. You've got lots of moss. So I'd probably say there's probably 2 days of power washing because of all the moss along the side of the buildings, along the curbing. Yeah, there's quite a bit. I'd maybe put 3 days of power washing out here because of having to do it in phases. They've got plenty of parking to push people around to park other places, but still, I think it's going to be multiple phases in here. As a matter of fact, I'm guessing for seal coat, it's probably going to take about 4 phases in here, maybe. Just because of all the carports and things to work around. So I'm up the hill right now, and I marked it on this map. So I've gone all the way up the hill, come around the corner, and I get right to this spot where there's these 2 blue marks here. That's right here. You've got this area that there's a huge trash compactor there. Well, they were talking about putting some asphalt right there in between the tree and the fence there, cutting out the curbing, which would be roughly about 8 feet of curb, 8 to 10 feet of curb, and then they'd want to go back to the back of that fence. So you're looking at an 8-foot by roughly 15-foot asphalt pad right there. So we'd have to dig out the debris, but we could throw it over to the side and kind of over the embankment there. That could get kicked off to the side, put probably a couple inches of gravel in here, so we'll have to dig it down a few inches. And I'm noticing tree roots there. We're going to hit tree roots for sure. So I don't know if that's going to be a safe bet. You know what? We're not going to do anything there. Scratch that. But down here, we can continue this pad here on the left side. So there's a little bit of asphalt there right now, but not much. It just kind of tapers in just enough to where they can open up this gate and get the trash out. But what we would want to do is remove this concrete, 4 inches of concrete, cut back into the hill about 5 feet, take away, haul away this pile of dirt and wood chips all the way out to that parking stall where that truck is. So this distance right here is about 25 feet by 18 feet. So we'd have to dig up a 25 by 18 foot section here. Part of that being concrete, and a little bit of it is asphalt, as you can see there. And then we would re-pour a new pad right here, and then it'll slope down to this concrete curbing. We'll take this curbing out and we'll tie in the asphalt to the existing stall that's here. So that's going to mean it's going to be butted up right up close to that shrub there if we were to go 18 feet back and dig into that hill. Okay. What he wants to be able to do there is he wants to be able to provide a little bit more space there for a couple stalls, and then they've got plenty of space there for when the garbage truck comes. Okay. Not much else to say about this development because it winds up the hill, comes back down. All these curbs will have to be power washed when we're out here. Some of the curbs are not in very good shape. I asked about doing concrete curbing repairs, and he said no, not at this time. So that's going to mean where we've got some washed out curb right here. It's going to be a challenge to paint, and I'm going to bring that up to the customer that I can't get underneath and get the underside of that curb that's washed away. Okay, so carports everywhere, lots of moss. I'm guessing it's going to take more than 24 hours to dry, so they'll probably have to stay off for about a day and a half or so, maybe 2 days. More carports, and then of course it winds down here at the bottom. So like I said, probably about 4 phases to seal coat, and probably 3 days power wash, and then I give you the striping quantities, and then I will give you the asphalt quantity plus the seal coat quantity on a different map. Okay, any other questions? Let me know. Thanks.